Beautiful ones, what if the stars were not just lights above us, but also ancient sisters, each holding a voice that still calls through time? This season, one of those voices grows thunderous. The question is, will you hear her whisper or will you hear her shout? Welcome, beautiful ones. I'm Cindi, astrologer, mystic, and guide through the stars. And I want to let you know, you don't need to know astrology to feel what I'm about to share. Now, to me, astrology isn't just about translating charts. It's about transformation. That's why I do these deep dives. They let us go beneath the surface forecast into the deeper layers, the myth, the history, the archetypes. So you see the full picture of what's shaping your life right now. Because when we understand these hidden threads, we're not just informed, we're transformed. So today we meet a star you may not know. Oh, but she knows you. Her name is Alcyone, the queen of the seven sisters. And this season, Uranus electrifies her voice. What if one of the brightest stars in the night sky was not just light, but a sister calling your name across centuries? Who is she? And why does it matter that Uranus is touching her, not once, but across an entire season? Now, you've probably seen these stars in the sky, even if you didn't know their name. That little cluster that looks like a tiny dipper shimmering like diamonds in Taurus? For thousands of years across every continent, people have looked up at these sisters. To the Greeks, they were the daughters of Atlas, chased by Orion until Zeus placed them in the heavens for protection. To the Maya, they were the fire stars, keepers of sacred calendars. To the indigenous peoples around the world, from the Hopi to the Maori to the Aboriginal people of Australia, the Pleiades were timekeepers, navigators, a living story etched in the sky. And at the center of that story is Alcyone. Her name means queen who rules. She is the heart of the sisters, the one around whom others turn. Energetically, Alcyone carries two faces, and both are gifts. She is the voice of truth, what cannot stay hidden, what must be spoken. Many cultures saw her as a marker of prophecy, of sight beyond the veil. She is also the weeping sister, the one whose truth can sting, whose revelations pierce illusions. Her gift is liberation, but it often comes through tears. And this is why she matters, beautiful ones, because her voice isn't just myth, it's alive. When planets align with her, it's as if the queen's sister leans down and says, "Now, speak the truth. Let it be heard." And if you were born with a planet conjunct Alcyone in your chart, you may carry her mark in your life. And it often shows up as a voice that cannot stay hidden, truth as destiny, sometimes disruptive, but always transformative. It can also show up as the weeping sister theme, lessons around speaking what others avoid, even if it costs comfort, because your role is to pierce illusions. At its highest, a gift for guiding others through truth towards liberation. And if you want to look this up for yourself, Alcyone sits about 0 degree Gemini in the tropical zodiac. So if you have a planet here or angles right here, here, right, or here, if you have a planet or angles right at the end of Taurus or the very beginning of Gemini, especially within 1 to 2 degrees, you may already carry her signature. But here's the part that matters. Uranus, right here, the awakener, the liberator, the breaker of chains, is sitting at her degree. And this isn't just a passing whisper. Uranus first touched Alcyone in July of 2025, just recently. Then stations retrograde exactly on her degree in September, October, which just is going on right now, and will return again right here in spring of 2026. Now, that means her voice is not just echoing for a day, it's reverberating across months. She is amplified, insistent, demanding. The truth will be spoken. Now, it's just a glimpse, but it shows that Alcyone is not only a star in the sky, she can also be a star inside you. And now, with Uranus electrifying her, the truth is not just personal, it's collective. So again, why does this matter now? Well, it matters because Uranus, right here, the planet of shocks, awakenings, and liberation, is sitting on Alcyone's throne, not just for a moment, but across a whole season. Uranus is hovering at 0 to 1 degree Gemini from July through early November 2025. It's stationed retrograde at 1 degree 27 minutes in Gemini on September 6th. It went in here in July, on July 7th. So Alcyone lives at 0 degree 20 minutes Gemini. So this isn't a passing alignment. It's a multi-pass activation that begin in July and echoes again in retrograde. So it's going to go back to Taurus where it's still going to echo, and then it'll return back in spring of 2026 when Uranus re-enters Gemini. So it's passing it 3 times, right? Uranus is the sky's thunderbolt. He cracks the system we thought were unshakable. He electrifies the nervous system, and he liberates the places we've been trapped. Alcyone is the queen's sister, the voice of truth that cannot be silenced. Together, this is Uranus saying, what has been hidden in silence must now be spoken. So collectively, we can expect shocks and revelations in the media, communication, and networks. That's Gemini territory. That sound familiar that you're hearing in the news and have been for a little bit? Maybe since July, maybe since a little before. We can also, you're going to hear stories that have been long suppressed, right? So stories long suppressed may erupt suddenly. Voices long ignored may be amplified. Think leaks, whistleblowers, truth telling that feels unstoppable. And remember, Uranus doesn't ask politely, it breaks through. He loves to shock and awe. Now, personally, in this window, you may feel truth pressing at your throat. The conversation you've avoided, the words you've swallowed, Uranus may deliver them in a slip of a tongue or a sudden confrontation. You may also, if you've felt voiceless, this transit can bring a surge of courage, even rebellion, to speak what you really mean. Also, if you've been hiding behind illusion, this transit may feel like exposure, but exposure is liberation. This is why I call it a deep dive. If we only skim the surface forecast, we just say, oh, Uranus and Gemini brings communication shifts. While that's true, but when we add Alcyone, the queen sister, we see another layer. This isn't just communication. It's soul truth breaking through illusion. And beautiful one, that's the layer that actually changes your life. If you wonder whether stars really matter, ask yourself, why have humans followed this cluster for thousands of years across deserts, oceans, and generations? The Pleiades are not just a Greek story. They show up everywhere. In ancient Greece, farmers timed planting and harvest by Alcyone's rising and setting. The Maya tracked the Pleiades in their sacred calendar, linking them to cycles of fire and renewal. In Egypt, the rising of the Pleiades was connected to the Nile's flood, a marker of survival. The Hopi, the Maori, and the Aboriginal peoples of Australia all carried stories of the Seven Sisters. They were timekeepers, guides, protectors. In every culture, this cluster marked turning points, thresholds of survival, cycles of death and rebirth, moments when life changed. Historically, with Uranus, when Uranus, the planet of disruption, touches Alcyone, truth has a way of spilling out. Records show spikes in collective upheaval, movements rise, secrets spill, voices that were silenced break free. It doesn't always feel comfortable, but it always serves awakening. In July 2025, Uranus ingressed. It went into Gemini, brushing Alcyone's degree for the first time. Now, in September into October, Uranus is retrograde, right on top of her, amplifying her voice even louder. And then in the spring of 2026, that's coming up, Uranus will return for a final direct pass. This isn't a fleeting moment. It's a season-long activation of truth that stretches across 2 years. So look around at the headlines and you'll see it mirrored. Voices that were silenced demanding to be heard. Whistleblowers, revelations, leaks in the media or technology, conversations that break taboo. The things society didn't want to speak about suddenly spoken everywhere. But it's not only out there, it's also in you. If you've been quiet, if you've been hiding a truth, Uranus with Alcyone is the pressure in your chest, that tremble in your throat, the universe saying, it's time. This is why I call this a deep dive, because when we add Alcyone's story, the news isn't just Uranus is in Gemini. It's Uranus has electrified the sister who has carried humanity's truth across timelines. Now, listen to me carefully as I say this. When truth strikes like lightning, you can either be burned or illuminated. The choice is in how you work with it. Uranus with Alcyone can feel like a surge that doesn't politely knock. Words spill, emotions tremble, truths press at the throat. Without a container, this pressure can feel chaotic. But with a container, it becomes liberation. Here are your tools for this season, beautiful ones. Practices to hold the energy steady while truth moves through you. Of course, you know we're going to start with the journal. What I want you to ask is, what truth am I afraid to speak, but can no longer swallow? Writing gives lightning a place to land. Gemini rules words. Uranus is revelation. When you put the unspoken on paper, it takes shape. So you don't have to share it. Just the act of writing it is the first liberation. The next is read one sentence of truth out loud to yourself. You don't have to post it. Just hear your voice. If it shakes, that's the energy moving. Your body knows when freedom is near. The next one is a steps to take or a ritual. Okay? You want to light a candle. And then you want to watch the flame. And when you're ready, I want you to whisper your truth into the flame. Watch the smoke carried upward. Now, fire transforms, air carries. And this is Gemini's element at work. It doesn't matter if no one else hears. Spirit hears, your higher self hears, and your nervous system does too. This season, notice every moment you feel the urge to swallow your words. And what I want you to do is pause, breathe, and silently say, my truth is safe with me. From that safety, choose either to speak it now, write it down, or hold it until the right container appears. Either way, you've broken the pattern of silence, and that alone shifts your destiny. This alignment isn't punishment, it's liberation. The truth that trembles inside you isn't your enemy, it's your way out. Now, beautiful ones, let me leave you with this. The Virgo eclipse closed an old chapter. Now Uranus and Alcyone are opening a season of voice and revelation. The question is, will you let it free you, or will silence keep you bound? The eclipse cleared your hands. Now the sisters call. Uranus is amplifying Alcyone, the queen sister who has guided humanity's truth for millennia. This is not a single knock at the door. It is a season-long bell across months. July, retrograde echoes September and October, return in spring 2026. Your truth may shake. It may even sting, but it's not punishment. It is freedom. Every honest word you speak is a doorway. Every silence you release is liberation. The eclipse made space. Alcyone gives you the courage to use your voice. This is not just astrology. This is transformation. And beautiful ones, this is why I bring you a deep dive every Monday, because the surface isn't enough. We need to go deeper. Myths, stars, archetypes, so we can truly transform our lives. And if this stirred something in you, don't miss the Virgo solar eclipse video I just released yesterday and then released another one 2 weeks ago. It gives the larger picture of the karmic closure we're moving through. I'll link it on the screen at the end for you. And if you're here every week, then you know what to do. Hype this video, because every hype tells YouTube this message matters. It helps this truth ripple into the collective and reach those who need it most. Stay close, beautiful ones, because every Sunday I bring you forecasts that shift timelines, and every Monday we go deeper together with these deep dives. Until next time, remember, the stars aren't just above you, they're within you.